I might be able to get away with one. Watch your step, please. I went home yesterday and I got my sheets to make sure I could still place the calendars. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll do some practicing and then see. That's too much heart attack. Watch your step, please. Watch your step. Signed up, committed. I'd rather take a conference call right now. You're standing here annoying the hell out of me. Where you're gonna go eat? Yes. I know, so you're not gonna go eat. Like, I'm sitting here. I gotta go. So please watch your step. I gotta go. I don't know about. I'm not even gonna worry about what you said. Never mind. Excuse me. Yeah, why we're stage front. Watch out there. There you go. Thank you.
What happened?
She said, I can't go back until the students in their seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take a moment to silence your mobile devices. As a safety precaution in the unlikely event of an emergency, please locate your nearest exit. Our program will begin momentarily. Thank you and enjoy.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. My name is Melissa Piasecki, and I am the Executive Associate Dean of the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine, and I am honored to welcome all of our distinguished guests, faculty, staff, alumni, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2019 to this very special event, the academic hooding ceremony for the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine. Gathered here today are so many people who have shared in the success of these students, and it is a great gift that you are joining us here today. It's a celebration not only of our students' achievements, but it's also a testament of your love and encouragement and support that's made it possible for these students to be here today. The University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine is proud to have 7 alumni who are hooding graduates today. These are Dr. Timothy Baker, class of 2004, hooding Alexandra Thomasina Megliarditi, Dr. John DeWeer Jr., class of 1981, hooding Maureen Therese Choman, Dr. Joseph Holland, 1976, hooding his daughter Anna Marie Holland, Dr. Kevin Lasko, class of 1987, hooding his daughter, Dr. Lasko hooding his son, Darren Andrew Lasko, Dr. Katrina Moody, class of 2017, hooding her brother, Dr. Alistair Eric Moody, Dr. Kavash Rouhani, class of 2018, hooding his significant other, Natalie Fan, and Dr. Niranjan Sivakumar, class of 2011, hooding his sister, Angela Sivakumar. It is now my great pleasure to invite Dr. Mark Johnson, President of the University of Nevada, Reno, to the podium.
Dr. Schwenk, distinguished colleagues on the faculty, friends and family, and most importantly, the members of the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine class of 2019, welcome. Each and every academic hooding ceremony is very special. Today, we mark the successful culmination of 4 years of effort on the part of the class of 2019. And to all of you, I wish to express my sincere congratulations. This is also a time for all of us to recognize the School of Medicine's 50th anniversary. An astonishing amount of work and accomplishment has preceded you. What started out as a stretch goal for our state 50 years ago is today a maturing and impactful School of Medicine that is meeting the medical education and healthcare needs of Nevada. Can you join me in applauding all of the people over the years, the students, faculty, and staff who have made the 50 years of our School of Medicine so meaningful? The practice of medicine was profoundly different 50 years ago, and there is little doubt that the field will continue to change in ways that many of us today might not be able to even imagine. That's why this day is so exciting. The class of 2019, you are all part of a time in medicine where we will see change. Some of it rapid, most of it welcome, as you go out and begin to make your mark on this worthy profession. As we experience change, it's also helpful to be mindful of what has preceded us. There are foundational truths that have existed in medicine from its very beginnings. Perhaps the most important is an abiding interest in humanity. For every brilliant diagnosis and mastery of every scientific fact must also come an open-hearted and open-minded modesty. This will enable you to remain open to new ideas and the hard-earned lessons that transform over time into rare and needed sense of wisdom. All of you have it within you to match and to exceed the deeds of the others who have come before you. As we look out at the audience today, there's no doubt that your family and friends who have supported you on this journey feel this way. There's no doubt that the faculty and staff of the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine who have been with you throughout this past 4 years also feel this way. So today, we salute your determination, we are inspired by your example, and we are excited to see what your next chapter will bring for you. Thank you and congratulations on this wonderful day.
Thank you, President Johnson. Now I would like to invite the Dean of the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine and Vice President of Health Sciences, Dr. Thomas Schwenk, to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Piasecki. Welcome to all of you. Let me add my thanks and welcome to that of others, to all of the family members, the spouses, the partners, the friends, all of you who have brought these students to this point in their careers, 20 plus years of education and growth that you have supported. And I want to start by recognizing you and recognizing all of you all that you have done. I also have the privilege and the honor of recognizing several of the members of our platform party. Others you will meet a bit later in the program. You've already met the president of the University of Nevada, Reno, Dr. Mark Johnson. I'd like to welcome from the Nevada System of Higher Education Board of Regents, Regent Carol Del Carlo. And a UNR Med graduate from the class of 1989, Regent Dr. Mark DeBrava. Regent Kathy McAdoo. And one of our newest regents, Regent Donald Savanti McMichael Sr. I will also welcome, you'll hear much more in a bit, but welcome our keynote speaker, the president and the CEO of the Association of American Medical Colleges, Dr. Darrell Kirch. And finally, the president of the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine Alumni Association from the class of 1976, Dr. Joe Holland. I also want to recognize several members of the audience. They won't have to stand because you couldn't see them anyway. And please hold your applause to the end. Carrie Dermick, representing United States Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. Nate Helton, representing United States Senator Jackie Rosen. City of Reno Ward 3 Council Member Oscar Delgado. Renowned Health Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer Cy Johnson. Chief Executive Officer of the Northern Nevada Medical Center, Alan Olive, and a host of representatives from other partners, including the VA, St. Mary's Medical Center, Community Health Alliance, and the Washoe County Medical Society. Please recognize their attendance as well. And finally, and certainly not last, I want to recognize the many faculty members, both our full-time School of Medicine faculty and staff members, as well as many members in the audience who serve on our community faculty. I'm not sure this is going to work, but I really want to recognize this tremendous turnout of faculty members, everyone who has contributed to the education of these students. I would like you to please stand and receive the thanks from the students. Thank you. So, to the students, on behalf of the entire University of Nevada, Reno community, I offer my congratulations. Each of you is about to become an alumnus of our School of Medicine. Today marks the end of a long phase of formal education, but just the beginning of a lifetime of informal, but I believe, and most of us believe, even more critical learning and professional growth. You represent a particularly special milestone for UNR Med as well, because we are closing, as you heard from President Johnson, on a year-long celebration of our 50th anniversary. We have been celebrating and will now forever remember the cumulative efforts and contributions of all who have come before us, including more than 3,500 students, residents, and fellows who have completed their education and training at this institution, a group you will now join. That includes also hundreds of alumni and community physicians who have contributed to your education as mentors and advisors and teachers. As part of this commemoration, we have created a 50th anniversary video that celebrates, at the end of this celebratory year, some of the many people who have made this achievement possible. Please watch this very short celebration.
All of my memories of my professional life have something to do with UNR Med. We are world-class facilities, and it is such a point of pride.
We're helping all over Nevada. It was a dramatic thing to be gone for 4 years and then come back and see it after residency and see just how much it had expanded, how much it had grown, yet how much it still maintained that small school feel.
I had a whole new enlarged family. Our class was very close. Best thing was just having 50 new brothers and sisters to go through medical school with.
I think the best memories are people. Not all medical schools are like this. I'll just reinforce what I said toward the end of that. This is all about people, it's all about our commitment, it's all about our mission, it's all about our devotion to the profession we all love. And I think that video describes very well the power that brings to this school. After our 50 years of success are the result of the cumulative impact of 1 million moments, a few of which you saw. Most of these moments are small, some are large, like the one we're experiencing today. I want you to think about the early moments in medical school, the ones that brought you to this point in your life, starting with our first greetings to you on Monday morning of orientation week, the bonding that started that week with your classmates, family day, pancakes, and the pride and nervousness you felt at the white coat ceremony. Now you are about to be launched into a lifetime of service, contributions to your community, and experiences of the greatest intensity and emotion that comes with medical practice at the highest level. Contributing to that process that has caused this transformation is one of my greatest joys, and a joy shared by all of the faculty and staff members who have made those contributions and supported you along the way. From this point forward in your career, there are patients who will benefit from your compassion and humanism. There are students, residents, and colleagues who will benefit from your mentorship. There are communities, hospitals, and clinics seeking your leadership. And there's a School of Medicine that is proud of your service as ambassadors to show the world how our values and our 50-year tradition of medical education excellence have influenced your professional and personal lives. As we have always emphasized throughout your education, everything in medicine is built on the physician-patient relationship. No matter your specialty, whether you end up in a clinic, in an operating room, or a laboratory, everything you do eventually finds its way to a patient, and the energy created by that relationship finds its way back to you. The many dilemmas you will face in your professional life, and you will face dilemmas, are really quite easily solved. Do what is right for the patient. You can never go wrong. If you do, and you will be rewarded handsomely with reciprocal, satisfying, energizing relationships beyond your imagination. As you walk across the stage today, I hope you graduate with pride in your training and your experiences at UNR Med. Graduation is a time of great celebration with just a touch of bittersweet. We are sad that you will be leaving, but so proud to welcome you as alumni of the School of Medicine we love. We are happy for you and your success, and for the excitement and satisfaction you will experience in your professional life to come. And above all, we are committed to continuing our tradition of outstanding medical education, so you are always proud to say you an alumnus of the University of Nevada School of Medicine. Congratulations. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Tim Gruner, to the president of the class of 2019.
Good afternoon and welcome, friends, faculty, and all of the family and guests, to this, the culmination of 4 years of excruciating effort, infallible perseverance, growth, and success of the UNR Med class of 2019. First, I'd like to extend my sincerest gratitude to all of the professors, clinicians, and administrators for making this entire process a total breeze. In reality, comparatively, I truly mean that. The compassion with which our instructors taught, the openness and responsiveness of the administration, and the dedication of our faculty and volunteer clinicians is unrivaled. Where else can we go to an instructor's house for a pizza party, or go on runs in the community with several of our clinicians, and work side by side on volunteer projects with those directing our school? You all made this experience attainable and, dare I say, enjoyable. And I thank you immensely for that. Friends and family, we stand before you not only eager and anxious to cross this colossal threshold into our careers and into the rest of our lives, but humble and grateful for you all, for all the support you're provided, all your kind words, all your warm meals, your comfort, and your sacrifices. I can't explain in words what it's like to go through medical school, and if I attempted to demonstrate that to any of you, it'd probably be considered torture in several countries. So you have to take my word for it that truly none of us would be here without any of you, our people. Our success is your success. Our patients are your beneficiaries, and our future is your legacy. And to my classmates, thank you. It has been such an honor to get to know you and to share this part of our lives together. 4 years ago, I imagined myself on that first day of orientation, walking into a room just full of ultra-competitive nerds. Well, that's exactly what happened. But now that we didn't need to focus our ambition and dedication on competing to get into school, we could work together and we could focus our efforts on our work. For the first time in my life, I could work on a group project and not have to do everything myself. I benefited immensely from the life experiences and the individual knowledge that all of my classmates brought to the table. Our education was one of collaboration, not of competition. We stood by each other through triumphs and through difficulties, through laughter and tears, through welcoming new members of our families, and through letting others move on their way. We rely on each other, and we trust each other, and that's what got us through. I'm incredibly proud to have been able to represent the class of 2019. Many people argue that the most important thing after today is that all of us are going to be doctors. But I argue that what's far more important is everything else that we are. We are husbands and wives, both established and new. We are mothers and fathers to new souls, to new teenagers, and to two dachshund. We are experts in curling, both on the ice and in the gym. We are experts in long distance and mid distance running, in ping pong, in spike ball, in foosball, and experts in minesweeper. We are trumpet players, banjo players, guitar and piano players. We sing Creed covers, and we sing a cappella. We paraglide from the Andes, we rock climb, we mountain bike, we ski, snowboard, golf, crash on wakeboards. We're black belts in martial arts. We're individuals with 2 actual birthdays, and some of us have extra letters in our name to improve our luck. We come from all over the world, from Montana to Australia, and we speak Spanish, German, Tagalog, and a myriad of other languages. We are ex-pesticide salesmen, ex-world-class gymnasts, and ex-world travelers. We're veterans. We are the class of 2019, a group of the most intelligent, exceptional, inspiring, and enjoyable people that I have ever met. I'm so grateful, yeah. Guys, I'm so grateful to have known you, and I would trust each and every one of you with my future patients, my family, and myself. I look up to you all so much, and I am so proud of everything that you guys have accomplished. I'm really eager to see where the world takes all of you, because I know that you are the ones who are going to change it for the better. Thank you for everything. Go inspire others as you've inspired me. Friends, I hope that you all face our upcoming challenges with the same utmost confidence as Hulk Hogan riding a duck into battle. Class of 2019, onward.
Thank you, Tim. Next, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker. Our school is so honored to have Dr. Kirch as the 2019 Hooding Speaker. And this is a particularly delightful introduction for me to make personally, because many years ago, when I was a resident in psychiatry, I was editing a book on nicotine in psychiatry, and I reached out to this very distinguished physician scientist at the National Institute in Health. And I asked if he would be willing to contribute a little chapter to this project I had. And I was thrilled when this distinguished clinician scientist, Dr. Darrell Kirch, agreed to help out this unknown junior psychiatry resident. And he was the kindest, most gracious, and most scientifically expert author imaginable. Over the years, Dr. Kirch and I have reconnected at various academic meetings in very different roles, and of course, here we are today. Since 2006, Dr. Kirch has served as the president and CEO of the American Association of Medical Colleges, we say AAMC for short, and this is a post he is now exchanging for retirement this year. He began, or all of you are beginning, by earning his MD, and following his psychiatry residency, Dr. Kirch spent his early career as a clinical researcher and administrator at the National Institute of Mental Health. He served as the leader of the Medical College of Georgia and Penn State Health prior to taking the reins of the AAMC. As president and CEO of the AAMC, Dr. Kirch has focused on higher education, research, and healthcare. He is often heard reminding constituents and colleagues, "I work for you." And he means it. By the end of his tenure, Dr. Kirch will have visited every medical school in the United States, including, of course, our own today. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Darrell Kirch.
I want to thank Dr. Piasecki for that exceptionally kind, probably too kind, introduction. I have to say, I'm just humbled that so many of you have traveled, taken your day off, traveled here to Reno just to hear me speak. This isn't an easy job because I'm standing between you and the main event. But you were kind enough to invite me, and so I have a few thoughts I want to share. One of those thoughts involves remembering how I always felt that commencement was the best day of the year as a medical school dean. And I realize for many of the people attending today, especially on the platform here, may be the best day of your life so far. You know, that's an incredibly joyous moment. But another thing that happens to me when I'm honored to be on the stage at a commencement is I have these memories that come back. I was in medical school nearly 4 decades ago, and yet I have memories from that time that are just locked in my brain. They're as vivid today as the day they happened. And I can guarantee you, your faculty members here and you will have that same phenomenon. There are these experiences that just prove to be so meaningful. So Dean Schwenk mentioned your white coat ceremony. When I was in medical school, we didn't have a white coat ceremony. They told us to go to the bookstore and buy a white coat, which I did. And when I stood in the mirror in the bookstore and tried it on, something happened to me that you probably observed, many of you, when they put on their first white coat. And it was that no matter how I squirmed and wiggled and stretched the sleeves, the white coat just didn't feel natural. And actually, I realized I was feeling like a bit of imposter putting this white coat on at that moment. And it was only with the passage of time that I realized it isn't that the coat's stiff, starched too much. It's that the only thing that makes a physician's white coat feel comfortable is a series of gifts that you receive over time. And those gifts constitute some of the memories that are so vivid for me. So I know you remember your first day of gross anatomy lab. I remember walking in the room, the smell of the formalin hitting me and thinking, I don't know if I'm able to do this. But with the help of my classmates, I did do it. And over time, it suddenly dawned on me that, as you were taught, this was my first patient. But think about the fact that in death, somebody gave their body to me so I could understand life. I mean, how many people receive a gift that momentous? And you recognize that gift when you conducted your memorial ceremony for those who had donated. Another vivid moment for me was the first time as a medical student I was allowed to go into the hospital room alone and do a history and physical on the patient. This was at the Denver VA hospital, And I walked into the room, and as I'd been taught, I introduced myself to this man in his hospital bed as the medical student who would be helping care for him. And immediately this look of deep concern swept across his face. And I know that part of what was driving that concern was his correct sense of my inexperience. But I also discovered that I think part of his concern, and of almost every other patient that I've encountered through my life, was whether I was going to take enough time to actually get a sense of who he really was as a person. He was so ill, so frail, a shadow of himself in that hospital bed. But what I learned was actually he was a member of the American soldiers who fought their way across World War II, including through the awful Battle of the Bulge, which my father had done. And in the course of hearing his story, I realized that he, just like my father, was part of that greatest generation. He wasn't a shell of a man. He was a person who had sacrificed enormously for us as a country. Every patient from then on gave me the gift of their stories so that I could remember that this was a real person with a real history sitting in front of me. Somebody earlier mentioned delivering your first baby. I had a tough time on obstetrics. It seemed like I was the last in line to have a chance to do the delivery. And so finally, nearing the end of the rotation, it was my turn. I'd watched so many deliveries, I knew exactly what to do. So when the attending said, "You can go ahead and this should be fairly simple," I delivered this beautiful baby into my hands. And the attending leaned over, and I was ready for him to say something like, "My son, now you truly are a physician." And what he whispered was, "I really wish you wouldn't hold the baby quite so tightly." And I found out you could actually release your grip and not drop the baby. But I also later processed the fact that this young couple who had never met me before that day allowed me to share in what arguably was one of the most precious and intimate moments in their lives. You know, it's those gifts, gift after gift, that really make the white coat real and comfortable for us. You know, you've received so many of these same kind of gifts, and you'll remember them, but just from the flavor I got from your dinner last night and what I've learned from some of your faculty colleagues, another gift you've given each other is just the camaraderie of a wonderful group of colleagues. I assure you, you have made connections that you will maintain over a lifetime and cherish them because you've been through a special experience together. So at this point in my career, I must admit, I envy the graduates today in some real ways. We're at a point in time where America's medical science is without question the best in the world. Our physicians, as exemplified by my colleagues here, are the best trained in the world. We have the best diagnostic tools. We have the best treatment interventions. That's a tremendously exciting period to enter and start your career in medicine. But I also would do you a disservice if I didn't share with you another observation I've made over the years. And that's that we may have the best science, best doctors, and so on, but we still don't have the best healthcare system in this country. You know, this year, the estimate is our nation will spend $11,500 per man, woman, and child on healthcare. That's almost $4 trillion. Far more than any other nation spends. But the outcomes for Americans don't match the rest of the world. We have too many newborns who die. We have far too many, and now an increasing number, of adults who die prematurely from what are being called diseases of despair. And to top that off, we still have tens of millions of Americans, including, I'm sure, people in this room who have no health insurance, people who live in fear that one serious illness could bankrupt them. That's not the kind of system you and I would like to practice in, a system that leaves so many people out. And then to top it off, nationally, we face a severe shortage in physicians. We have all the aging baby boomers who, like me, plan to run and ski until I'm 90, even if one of these folks has to replace all my joints with titanium. The baby boomers are real, and they're placing a real load on our healthcare system. I was so glad to learn how many of you are staying in Nevada and in the West to train, because this part of the country needs you as much or more than on almost any other region. So I could understand for a graduate today, you're sitting here thinking, well, why are you bringing this up? This is the happiest day of my life, and you're raising all these political issues. But I've come to a point as a physician where I've finally understood these aren't political matters. For you and me, when you take that oath today, it becomes ethical, an ethical issue for us about whether or not we pay attention to these issues. You know, I loved studying medical ethics as a first-year student because it was so simple compared to everything else. We were studying, there were only 4 things we had to remember. That to be an ethical physician, you have to strive to do good for your patient, you have to work very hard to avoid harming them, you have to respect their independence, it is their body and their decision, and the 4th ethical principle is we have to strive for justice in healthcare. And that's where we really struggle in the United States. We have too many places where our healthcare system reflects injustice rather than justice. And you've seen this. All you have to do is be in the emergency room overnight, and you see the people who, because they've been left out of the system and out of access to healthcare, have become so ill that they roll into the hospital on a gurney with the hope you can rescue them. That is not a just system. We can do better. So when I began stalking you online to find out what kind of class you are, I actually learned that you're the perfect people to take these issues on. The student outreach free clinic that you participated in is such a wonderful example of trying to bring more justice into our system. I really liked the UNR Med Stands With You campaign to make sure that discrimination and injustice don't permeate our relationships with each other. You've been active here in Reno and far beyond in the state and region. And you've built a real just community among yourselves here at UNR Med. So I just want to close with one point. You know, medicine and medical school were incredibly challenging, and medicine will remain challenging. I hear more and more discussions, as I'm sure you have, about burnout in physicians who are feeling emotionally exhausted, who are becoming cynical, who've lost their sense of the joy of medicine. And it's now really become clear nationally that all too often that burnout can lead to bigger problems, depression, anxiety, and other things. I wish I'd been sharing this experience with my fellow physicians earlier. I had an experience early in my career, my first year of medical school, when anatomy was tough, but I actually became very burned out during it. And it didn't go away after I took the exam. I actually slipped in to a significant depression. That was when I received another gift. I was ready to quit medical school. And one of the deans could see I was struggling, took me aside and said, I know, I have a feeling of what you're going through. You can get through it. I will get you the help you need. And I got treatment, and arguably I could stand here today saying reaching out for help actually allowed me to stand here today and have the career that I have. So that means that for you, the only way you're going to do right by yourselves, by your loved ones here, by your future patients, is to really know your limits, to take care of yourself, to reach out for care when you need it, and when you see a colleague struggling, reach out to them. That's really key to being the good doctor we all aspire to be. So I'm a veteran commencement speaker, and I know nobody will remember that I spoke here today. But what I feel fairly certain you'll remember are these incredibly precious gifts you've been given, these indelible memories you'll carry forward for your entire life. I want you really to cherish them. They will help sustain you when the challenging times arise. And most of all, I have a request from you. I'd like you, me, my colleagues on the platform, our medical colleagues below, to redouble our efforts, to find the courage to really, truly make good on our ethical obligation to our patients. I never would have believed it when I was a student that we would still have so many Americans out on the margins of healthcare, not getting what they need. But I think you're the generation that can take us over the tipping point to create the better, healthy society we all want so badly. Our profession needs you, our nation needs you. I look forward to working with you as we go forward. Congratulations, Godspeed.
Thank you, Dr. Kirch. At this time, I would like to invite you to please join Dr. Schwenk and President Johnson at center stage. The University of Nevada, Reno is pleased to nominate Darrell G. Kirch for an honorary doctorate of letters in recognition of his significant contributions to medical education, research, and healthcare. Dr. Kirch has accelerated innovation in medical education, catalyzing significant changes throughout the medical education curriculum. He has advanced scientific discovery, recognizing and managing conflicts of interest in academic and biomedical research communities. Dr. Kirch has enhanced healthcare delivery, presenting and speaking on the future of healthcare delivery and how academic medicine should take the lead in creating a more values-based, efficient, and effective healthcare system for all patients. Dr. Kirch has strengthened the AAMC, directing its continued growth toward a collaborative and servant culture. Throughout his distinguished career, Dr. Kirch has remained committed to the importance of evidence and ethics in improving the health of all of us, especially the most vulnerable among us. President Johnson, may I present Darrell G. Kirch for an honorary degree.
Dr. Kirch, by virtue of the laws of the state of Nevada and the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education, I confer upon you the Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations belonging thereto. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dr. Kirch. I would now like to recognize the following faculty members who will assist in presenting the hoods to our graduates. Dr. Timothy Baker, Associate Dean for Medical Education, Class of 2004, and Dr. Cherie Singer, Associate Dean for Admissions and Student Affairs. And I would like to ask the following individuals to proceed to the right side of the stage. President Mark Johnson, Dean Thomas Schwank, and Dr. Joseph Holland, graduate of the class of 1976 and president of the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine Alumni Association. Graduates and hooders, please stand and come forward as your names are called, and please remember to pause after you are hooded for your photograph. Syed Arslan Abbas, hooded by Syed Ater Abbas. Steve Alcazar, hooded by Catherine Alcazar. Diana Andres, hooded by Dr. Augusto D. Andres. Alexander John Azam, hooded by Marta Azam. Natalia Benishot, hooded by Buck Benishot. Trevor Berry, hooded by Lindsay Berry. Bryce David Beutler, hooded by Nancy Yan. Philip Richard Breslow, hooded by the Honorable Barry Breslow. Karina Chang, hooded by Ellen Chang. Maureen Therese Choman, hooded by Dr. John DeWeer, Jr. Tyler Jeffrey Collins, hooded by Jeff Collins. Nicole Ann Deuster, hooded by Tammy Thomas. Daniel Eugene Edmondson, hooded by Kelsey John Edmondson. Jake Stephen Enos, hooded by Stephen Enos. Mary Josephine Froelich, hooded by Dr. K. Warren Volker. Gregory Michael Gaughan, hooded by Sherry L. Gaughan. Kathleen Joy Go, hooded by Lolita Manangu Go. Timothy Todd Gruner, hooded by Susan Gruner. Anna Marie Holland, hooded by Dr. Joseph R. Holland. Taylor Catherine Howard, hooded by Preston Howard. Douglas Robert Hunter, hooded by Maria Hunter. Nikki Jones, hooded by Joyce Armstrong. Melissa Kelly, hooded by Sheila McGeehee. Yuna Kim, hooded by Youngwon Kim. Sabya Kumar, hooded by Rita Kumar. Darren Andrew Lasko, hooded by Dr. Kevin F. Lasko. Alexandra Tomasia Magliarditi, hooded by Dr. Timothy Baker. Emily Jane Diller Martinelli, hooded by Dr. Timothy A. Diller. Aradhna Mehta, hooded by Dr. Anurag Mehta. Alistair Eric Moody, hooded by Dr. Katrina Moody. Carrie Mosman, hooded by Nicole Bozeman. Ariel Murtaugh, hooded by Debbie Murtaugh. Karan Pavan Natani, hooded by Dr. Cherie Singer. John P. Knoll, hooded by Michael Knoll. Taylor Sainsbury Orton, hooded by Elizabeth Orton. Michael Vincent Padua, hooded by Alan Krishner B. Padua. Natalie Than, hooded by Dr. Kavash Ruhani. Crystal A. Ferris, hooded by Megan N. Ferris. Georgina Emily Puentedura, hooded by Dr. Emilio Joseph Puentedura. Jenny Carolina Riategi, hooded by Shabu John. Brianna Roll, hooded by Justin Roll. Nicholas Rose, hooded by Barbara Rose. Gustav J. Rossi Jr., hooded by Gustav J. Rossi Sr. Timothy Seta, hooded by Joseph Seta. Andrea Joy Sanford, hooded by Patty Sanford. Robert Gwynn Shrake, hooded by Alex Shrake. Angela Sivikumar, hooded by Dr. Naranjan Sivikumar. Christine Balaz Schrockvist, hooded by David Arling Schrockvist. Keely Taylor Smith, hooded by Dominic Smith. Alexandria Snow, hooded by Jane Snow. Constanza C. Spelius Perez, hooded by Erica Perez de Jennings. Jane Stevens, hooded by Mark Christian Stevens. Kevin D. Swanson, hooded by Dr. Andrew Swanson. Johnson Jose Yukon, hooded by Jesse Yukon. Kylie Ruth Danielle Van Horn, hooded by Avery Baldwin. Nicholas Ramon Vargas, hooded by Lara Elise Vargas. William Stephen Vicks, hooded by Dr. Betsy Schilling Card. David Wozniak, hooded by Carissa Wozniak. Carissa Wozniak, hooded by David Wozniak. Marco Zegarak, hooded by George Zegarak. Round of applause for all of our graduates. I would like to ask our new graduates, as well as the physicians on stage and in the audience, to join the members of the class of 2019 in reciting the physician's oath. The oath is on page 30 of the program book. Dr. Joseph Holland will lead the recitation of the physician's oath. Graduates and physicians, please stand.
The School of Medicine Alumni Association exists to build and foster a community to support lifelong learning, service, and connection to the school for the benefit of students and alumni. For those who preceded you and those who will follow you, we ask you to continue our traditions of compassion and excellence. I solemnly pledge to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will give to my teachers the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity. The health of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me even after the patient has died. I will maintain by all the means in my power the honor and noble traditions of the medical profession. My colleagues will be my sisters and brothers. I will not permit consideration of age, disease, or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor.
Thank you, Dr. Holland. Please be seated. I would now like to ask President Johnson to the podium to confer the Doctor of Medicine degree upon the University of Nevada, Reno School of Medicine class of 2019.
By virtue of the laws of the state of Nevada and the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education, I confer upon you the Doctor of Medicine degrees that you have earned with all of the rights, privileges, and obligations belonging thereto. Congratulations.
Wasn't quite sure where that was going to end. Let me close this ceremony with some thanks. I want to thank very much and acknowledge the extraordinary privilege it is to conduct this ceremony in the Pioneer Center for the Performing Arts. The venue is fabulous. The staff is fabulous. We have been here now for 2 years, but this, in fact, is where the school started, and several of the graduates that are in the audience may remember their hooding ceremony here in the very early days of the medical school. I also want to thank and acknowledge the collaboration, the contributions, the tremendous energy put into this by our advancement and engagement and admissions and student affairs teams who have made this possible. The extraordinary dozens of people who have come together to make this happen. Please especially recognize Brandy Ayazi, Robin Whitman, Ashley Gottlieb, and Audrey Goodnight. Thank you all for coming today and being part of this celebratory event, this celebratory week. Here are the instructions for how you're going to find your graduate for the reception. We will be recessing in one direction. Please wait until we do so, and then you're going to recess in another direction around the building onto the Renaissance for a lovely reception, and you can find your graduates there. I invite the graduates to stand, and we will lead the recessional. thank you all again. We'll see you at the reception.